Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, the last day of the week. It's the last trading day of the month, and it's August 30th. So, welcome to Mattsby's morning here. And right now, we're going to take a look at the QQQ pre market just to see how things are developing. And sure enough, things are getting close to their resistance on the daily chart, right? We just see how price closed yesterday, like right underneath the cloud on the daily chart. And now right back up in the cloud, it looks like it's going to open and maybe price will just be stuck in a daily range, possibly up to 477, 78, maybe even down to like 472. So we'll see how it closes the day, but maybe not too much excitement today for the Qs, just simply because there is resistance above and it's just getting back to it this morning. So I think what we can really expect is maybe not too exciting right now. Maybe I'll be wrong and I'll be surprised and it'll just go close above the cloud and everything on the day, and that'll be exciting for a monthly candle close. But so far, it just looks like a neutral kind of a day. Things are back to where they were yesterday. So no excitement for me, right? We'll see. And SPY, that is back above its support. So SPY has a better chance of doing some exciting things because it's looking to open above that 558, 559 level around 560. So we'll see what kind of day that brings. But if that can continue higher, there's a good chance to get pretty close to the previous all-time high. But we'll see. It's still going to be resistance. You can see right up here, resistance, right? And then you look to the right, you can see these candles here, resistance, 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 like lots of pressure. Every time it gets up there, it either is like a red candle coming back down or it turns into a wick, right? You can see that yesterday, how it got up to the 560s and it just turned into a wick. So we'll see if it can fight this selling pressure. We can see if it can bust above anytime soon. Not too sure if it's going to be able to today, but it's battling it, right? The more times it battles this resistance, then possibly the greater the chance of finally breaking through. So probably won't happen this month, but maybe next month. But I don't know. Next month could be September, right? Could be that bear market, and that could be a top, and things could come down, right? So we got to be a little bit cautious at resistance up here, as always, right? Because resistance is never a bullish thing until it actually breaks, right? So far it has not broken. Hello, Matt. How to trade in pre-market? Well, you got to just activate it with your brokerage, right? Some accounts, I think you have to have that setting enabled, but a lot of them, there's just an option. Like you can set like a limit order, you can set a good to cancel order, you can set aftermarket, pre-market, whatever. There's like a little toggle switch on a lot of brokerage accounts. You just got to make sure it's there. And if it's not there, then you got to enable it. And if they don't allow it, then choose a brokerage that does. Okay, IWM. And here is the IWM chart. It's looking on the daily chart, looking really, really bullish, right? You can see that it is above all the indicators. Even it's going to open above 1974, right? That's a good sign. I like that sign a lot, right? But again, there's going to be some resistance up above, right? You can see that still every time there's a candle that gets above like 221, it starts to sell off, right? And then yesterday it got up to almost 221 and then it started to sell off. So you can see that 221 level is a lot of resistance for the IWM as well. So it's kind of approaching that zone as well. I really want to see more daily candles, more weekly candles close above that 221 in order to get the momentum to break free and continue higher. And I think it's probably not going to happen this month, today, really. So possibly could happen in September, right? But so far, still lots of support for IWM. chart is looking really good. It just has to bust through that 221 level to get really bullish, right? Until then, it's just going to be stuck. Let's see. Stoic Outdoors. Little pop on Tesla. Short at resistance around 214. Well, I don't really like to short things that are in a temporary uptrend, but that's just not my style. So we can take a look at Tesla now. I like to short more bearish charts is what I'm trying to say. After they break a support and then they flip it to a resistance. That's the kind of charts I like to short. So here's Tesla daily chart, pre-market 208.80 right there. And what is at 208? Well, that's the baseline there. It's at 208.34. So I think if it opens the day above 208.34, it could be a good indicator that it wants to go a little bit higher, right? A little bit higher. And we can see that above is 215, the conversion line right up there. And that is looking like it's going to be maybe some resistance. So if you want to be aggressive and try to short it up there, and that could be a good opportunity because maybe it'll just be in a range for the next couple of days or week or so. But it also has the possibility to go up to the 219 and the 220 level where there's even more resistance up here. That could be a better place to take profits or maybe attempt something like that. But I like this setup really because when you zoom out from that bottom back in April for the earnings, it's just been trending higher, right? A series of higher higher lows, right? This low is higher than that one. This low higher than that one. And so far, this low is higher than that one. So that's what I mean. Like, I don't like to short those kind of stocks because it is continually making higher lows, right? Now, if one of these lows ever gets broken and then goes down, then that'll flip to a resistance. And then I think that would be a good short setup. But until that happens, I don't like to short things that keep on making higher lows because the potential to break resistance is greater and greater. And good morning, got you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, so basically what I'm looking at for Tesla is closing above 213. Even better would be closing back above 215 up there, right? We'll see if it can have that momentum, but the minimum I'd like to see is just hold that baseline there at 208.34. And since it's going to open above, I think there's a good chance to hold that for a continuation higher today, right? So we'll see. We'll see. The chance, the opportunity to go up today is there because it looks like it found its bottom with the 200-day moving average right there 2 days ago. And ever since then, it's been trending a little bit up. And today could be the first day since right here, August 23rd, that it opens up above the baseline, right? So the chances to go higher is right in front of our faces. And CLSK, please. Okay. CLSK, daily chart, doesn't look really that good, right? It's just stuck. But one thing that I think you can see is it's in kind of like a support zone, really, with these candles here. This wick yesterday or 2 days ago, even yesterday, kind of got in that zone, right? So I think there's a possibility. You can even take it out further. You can see that used to be a resistance right up here, right? If I take this off. See, that used to be a resistance in the past. And now it could be a support, right? So that's the good thing about this chart. Previous resistance up here, flipping to a support. But the bad news is, like, this is going to be a resistance in the future, anywhere from like 1360 all the way up towards like $15. That's going to be a bigger resistance for CLSK. But as far as today, what's going to happen? Well, maybe not much. I mean, maybe we can look at the weekly chart, see what's going on. Yeah, the weekly chart is telling us that 1088, the 200-week moving average, could be a good support. And pre-market, it's at 1090. So a minimum, what I would like to see is a hold above that. 1088. And if it starts to close candles, weekly candles, monthly candles below that, then I think there is a possibility to go back and retest some lows down here. So I think that 1088 level is very important. So let's see if it can close above today. Let's see, NVIDIA. Yeah, I'll look at NVIDIA for you guys. So weekly chart, perfectly healthy. You can see 113, that zone is holding very nicely, even down to maybe 108. I think any kind of close above there is a really bullish setup for the future. And daily chart, maybe nothing exciting will happen today because it's getting closer towards resistance as it moves its way higher, right? So I think anywhere around 120, 121 might be difficult to break through. So I think what could happen is maybe it still could drift a little bit lower, maybe down to the 115s again, maybe even a little bit lower than that. So probably it's just got to give it time to cool down a little bit, right? You can see how many days in a row it had a nice uptrend, then it was flat, and now maybe it's the start of a little mini downtrend here before it tries to build a new base and continue higher. So NVIDIA just got to have some patience. I think there's no rush, but the setup is really good for a possible continuation higher. And I think the worst case scenario now is probably going back to that 110 zone down here and finding a new base, a new higher low to continue higher. Jules, do you have a sense of where Tesla may be in 3 months' time? 3 months' time, that's kind of hard to predict for time-wise, but it all kind of depends on where the month closes today, I think. And if it can close above like 213, I think it can have a really good trajectory for the next 3 months, right? But if it closes below like 205 or something, then maybe things will go lower. So we'll see. We'll see what really happens with Tesla, but gotta wait to see how it closes today. And I'll do my Tesla video tonight for everybody to see after everything closes. So you guys can just wait for that. And let's see. Good morning. Can we see in phase? Yeah, so in phase, losing some daily momentum there. It's up 70 cents pre-market, but it's getting kind of stuck underneath the 122.64. So what I think is possible is maybe coming back down to that 118 level and testing it again before it wants to go higher. Maybe a little bit below. It's possible too, but the setup is really good. You can see it's still making higher lows from here, right? Higher low here, and wherever this new higher low is going to be, and then price has a very great potential to continuing higher. So this is maybe not a very exciting day for in phase, maybe a couple days or a week for it to cool off. But that's fine, because if you look here, it went from 97 all the way up to 120. That's a pretty good gain. So just give it time to cool off before it wants to go higher. Let's see, CRM, Salesforce. Yeah, so Salesforce had a very obvious day yesterday. It opened above, but then just fell below a lot of support. So I think that's kind of a hint that it's really not ready to break out yet, right? It's probably going to drift a little bit sideways to lower now. And I think the target could be down maybe in the 250s or even maybe 255. Yeah, probably around the low 250s, the 255. I think that could be the target for Salesforce. But it's still just a breakout above everything, got rejected up here, and now just looking for a back test somewhere down there. So I think still it's a healthy development. Nothing too dangerous, really. I think what happened yesterday is perfectly normal. So just got to give it some time for it to find its new higher low, and then it'll probably continue higher. Yeah, Tesla target. Yeah, I already talked about Tesla targets today. SMCI, if you could comment on their problem. So SMCI, their problem really is the chart, right? That was always the problem here. And the chart was, it broke down below the level, then it went down here, tried to maintain the green or the blue angle, and now is drifting lower, right? Yes, it is up nicely in pre-market 11, right? But like I said yesterday, I can still see it recovering back up to 550, then getting rejected and possibly rolling over, because this chart looks like it's not ready yet. It never even back tested a level. It just stopped right there. And there's really no support there at 3. What did it stop? Like the low of that 395, right? It stopped right there. But there's really no support there when you look left. And the true support is maybe down here at the angle, or a little bit lower down here at the 340s. So 339, 340. So I think that's what I see in SMCI's future. I see a recovery and then a rollover. That's what I see. So is it time to go short on this one? No, it's not. But because I think it still has a potential to go up before it goes down. But I think the midterm target is lower because of how this chart looks. But is this chart on the high time frame bearish? No, it's not, right? You can see this, even if it went down here to the 340s, it's still a higher low from here. So it's still in a very nice uptrend. It just needs to retest the support. And I think it has not done that yet. So since it has not retested support, I think what's going to happen is eventually it'll come back down and hit this orange angle now, because this is going to make a lower low close, right? Today is the end of the week, the end of the month, and it looks like it's going to have a bearish close. Unless some kind of miracle can happen and it can just shoot up above 550 today, then I'll take that off the table. But I really want to see a weekly close back above 550, and that's pretty far away right now. So if that happens, if it closes below that, then I think the most obvious thing is going to be just rolling or going back up and then rolling over. That's what I think. Good morning. If you haven't done it yet, can you do IREN? Yeah, I mean, these miners, they're just going to depend on Bitcoin, but here IREN, you can see it's holding my angle perfectly right there on a weekly chart. So I think that is your ultimate support. It's just in a range though, so I don't think anything exciting is going to happen for IREN until maybe Bitcoin can break out. Right. But the reason why it kind of had that awesome recovery is because it found its support there, right? It's found its support on the 45-degree angle that I have on my chart. So I do like this for the longer term, but midterm it's just waiting on, I think, what Bitcoin's doing. So just got to give it some time to build its base to then finally break through all the resistance above. So I see SHAK. Haven't really checked on that one for a while. Shake Shack. Let me go to this chart here. All right, so Shake Shack is losing momentum. And what that really means to me is that it's looking to possibly just go down more, right? You had a great bounce from 70s all the way up to the 110s. Look at that. That's a huge gain, right? So you have to give it time to cool down. Got to give it time. Yeah, and there's lots of resistance up there. You can see 110. You can see that wick right here. Resistance. So that's why it got really rejected. So if people didn't take profits there, that's just getting greedy because it was kind of obvious it was not ready to break through. So I think it's just going back to retest lower levels, right? And I think those lower levels, they start in the 95s, right? So it has more room to fall in my eyes to find a new higher low somewhere down here and then go back higher. So nothing, don't need to chase this one. Just let price come to you. And Schwab. Daily chart looking like it wants to go higher today, right? You can see that it's finding its new base right here. And I think it has room now to maybe get up to the 66 zone. Maybe not today, but possibly in the future, like next week or the days to come, right? So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's back on top of support, and this base did hold down here in the low 60s, and then it didn't even make a lower low there. So that's a good thing for a possible continuation higher. So I think the potential to go up is there. And yeah, we can take a look at Fetch AI. And Fetch daily chart says it all, really. It it went up, smashed resistance right up here in the 140s. It was very obvious. And now it's finding support. And I think it's a great zone right here for support. And 111, maybe even down to 109, possibly 106, 107. So could it go back down to $1? I think so, but maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But if it did trend down the cloud, it would get back down to $1 maybe the first week of September, right? So that's a possibility. But so far, so good. And I think that it's ready to sometime in the next week or so, or even today, find its new higher low to continue higher. Okay, let's see here. Where would you note a potential bottom for IEP? Icon Enterprises. Whoa, that's a ugly chart. I'm not a fortune teller, so I'm not sure. But this chart is ugly. No matter which way you look at it, this is a falling knife, and it just made a new low. So I would run away from this one. I would not try to guess a potential bottom because look at this. Look at this chart, right? I mean, maybe a potential bottom will be where these candles are down here in the 7s or 8s, right? That could be it. But right now it's at 13, so I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Yeah, so if I were to guess, every time it goes up, it's going to get rejected by resistance up here and then probably continue lower, right? So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I would avoid this chart 100%. Oh, good morning, Tesla Tracker. You're here. Oh my God. EOS. Yeah, EOS had a good day, right? Yeah, so 290 is what I said, and I think it even has room now to even go up to 316. I said 290 yesterday, but I think the momentum is there, right, for the weekly chart. Maybe it'll continue this week, maybe next week, but yeah. So 290 maybe today, maybe next week, 310, 320. I think it has the momentum to continue. I really do. But it doesn't have much more strength after 320. Maybe not. So we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. But I do like it a little bit more, but not sure if it can last. Let's see. Beam Therapeutics. Beam Therapeutics. Yeah, weekly chart looks like all that really matters is closing the week above 2647. So I think just keep an eye on that level. And today it's just going to get stuck under a lot of resistance, I think. So no excitement really. Like it has the potential to maybe go up to the 27s or so, but I think still lots of resistance above for Beam. EBS got approval for MPOX. Emergent Biosolutions. I was almost going to type in MPOX there. Yeah. So daily charts losing support, right? And losing support is never a good thing. Weekly chart, I think support really is around like the 840s, maybe even a little bit lower, 750s. Yeah, I mean, this chart is breaking above the cloud, and it did backtest it, so it has the potential to find its bottom and continue higher. but it still seems a little bit stuck. Like I don't know if it's ready yet, but we'll keep an eye on it. I think if it does come back down to the 760s, 750s, that could be an opportunity there, though. Are you adding to a FET bag, Matt? Yeah, I've been adding. I like fetch a lot. I add higher, I add lower, I add everywhere because I like the setup for the longer term. Let's see, EBS. Yeah, we already did that one. Let's see. Thank you for taking the time to inform us each morning. Oh, you're welcome, Zorro. Palantir, yeah, we got 4 minutes till the market's open. So we'll take a look at Palantir. And one thing about Palantir is it did finally touch its retrace level, right? So if I pull up the Fibonacci from there down to there, let's see. On linear scale, it did touch that 30.08, right? It did wick through it yesterday. So I think that has a potential of holding, right? But there's a lot of other factors at play too, because there's also resistance above. So we just got to be patient, really. I don't see it breaking out yet, but I do see it going higher, right? I can see it easily going back up to 32 or even a little bit above, right? But I don't know if it's ready to break out yet because of a lot of other indicators there. So just got to be patient with this one. I think don't need to force a trade. I still think there'll be more opportunities, maybe even below 30s as well, back down to the 28s or even 27s, right? I think that's still going to be a possibility because you can see like the conversion line and baseline, they're down there at that 27 level and 26. So right now it's holding the 618, but I still think there's a possibility to go back down and test these. So since there's resistance above, I'm not in a rush, right? Not in a rush to buy it. All right, because I've already been adding in the low 20s, so I don't really need to add more unless it comes back to a really good support level. Then I think that'll be an opportunity. Yeah, I already did NVIDIA. Nintendo, huh? Let's see. Maybe the London or maybe this one, TSE. Yeah. Yeah, Nintendo. It's basically at support right now, right? We can see it there for a chance to go higher, right? I think that looks like a healthy chart to me. Let's see. Good. Thanks. Oh, yeah. Monkeypox is the new boogeyman like COVID. Yeah. Am I adding to ADS bags? Bacon. No. I've already added a lot at lower prices, so I don't need to add more right now. Let's see. I see a request for IJR. What is that? iShares small cap. Yeah, the ETF here. Yeah, it looks good, right? The weekly chart is looking like it's going higher, right? You can see that the baseline is down at 112. The conversion line, the baseline's at 111. The conversion line's at 112. And it looks like it wants to go higher. And the daily chart, it found its support down there and built its way back above all kinds of resistance. So now everything is support. So yeah, I can see it going higher, but also I see resistance above with the previous highs over here around the 119s or 120s. So just got to be a little bit cautious until it can break that resistance. Yes, sign up for the Patreon. I'm doing my monthly reviews on all the charts tonight. It's going to take me a long time. So if you guys want to see how the month closes, just go to the Patreon. And what else? Oh, Rocket Labs. Yeah, Rocket Lab is still pretty bullish, right? You can see it hasn't done this in a long time, right? Or ever, really. It's really, really, really nice. It tried to do it back here in July of 2023, but now it's looking like it could be the real deal, right? I think there's a possibility to come back down to the fives to retest this level, but from what everything looks like, it looks like things probably want to continue higher, so it's good, right? It's good to see. Oh, thank you, Tracker. Thank you. Let's see here. Oh, market is open. Let's go look at the indices. Okay, yes, QQQ is up 4, SPY up 2, Dow up 70, IWM kind of flat, right? That 221 level. Let's see if it can hit today. ARK is up 12, whereas Tesla is up 1. Yeah. Where did Tesla open today, though? It opened at 208.63, right? So that's kind of good. The conversion line or the baseline's at 208.34, so I like that it opened above it right there. Yeah, that was a good open for Tesla. Let's make it go up, right? Go up to the 215, and then it'll be good to go. I think it can do that. I think this support can hold for today, so I don't see any worry to flush down like we've been seeing, right? I can see price just going, maybe get rejected up above. So let's make that 208.34 hold for the rest of today. Let's see. How's the market doing it open, red or green? Well, the market is mostly green, right? You can see like all of the miners are relatively flat, but that's not a surprise because look at Bitcoin. It's relatively flat as well, right? You can see it's up 181 for the day. Nothing too exciting here. But yeah, maybe crypto will have a good weekend, but I think it all depends on how the stocks close the month today. So we'll see. But everything is relatively flat. CrowdStrike is doing pretty well today. I see why. Yeah, daily chart, lots of room to run up to the 300s now. CrowdStrike is doing well. I did take some profits yesterday on CrowdStrike at 280, but now it looks like it wants to go higher. All right, so yeah, Palantir turned red. AMD. Yeah, Tesla is going a little bit below, but I still think it'll hold. We'll see. Got to flush out the early morning people, then possibly go higher. So I think that's about it. Or what does it say? What level does BTC need to break to signify a move upward? For me personally, I think 62,500. I want to see Bitcoin go above. I can just check out Bitcoin before we finish things up. Yeah, Bitcoin daily chart, you can see it's stuck, right? But essentially, weekly chart, minimum, I'd love to see it close above that 61,686 up there, but I'm not sure if it's going to have the power to do that. But I guess closing to about 59797 would be okay for maybe just like an average close, but I'd love to see it close back above all support. But for me to get really excited, it would just have to be above like 62.5, 63, around there, just to get back up and start trending higher and higher. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes. But what I see right now is not that situation. I kind of see it just drifting sideways, maybe even down to finally touch the cloud, because it's never done that before since it broke out, right? You can see since it broke out here, it's never back tested the cloud. So I think a possibility of just trading sideways for a while, maybe until October, until it's ready to go higher. So that's what I see for Bitcoin. And I think that's all for today. Yeah, just keep an eye on those levels for you, and be ready for my Tesla and Palantir video on X later today.